Just a reminder, the League is a grassroots nonprofit organization grounded in our nonpartisan policy, meaning we neither support or oppose any candidate or political party at any level of government. Our mission is to defend democracy and to empower voters. Our programs actively try to include all party affiliations and differing points of view. While we aren't partisan, we are political. Our league has actively been involved in federal, state, and local government public policy for more than 71 years, as evidenced by our longstanding policy positions. Now, I'm very excited about this morning's program, which is entitled Match Ready: How Johnson County is Preparing for the World Stage This Summer. This is a timely update about one of the biggest, if not the very biggest, event in Kansas City and Johnson County history. The World Cup will be in the United States as well as in Mexico and Canada from June 11th through July 19th. All this past week, we've been getting exciting announcements about World Cup teams, so we couldn't be more timely if we tried. We're pleased to have with us this morning first Mike Kelly. He's the chairman of the Johnson County Commission. He has served as chairman since 2023, representing Johnson County at large. He's the presiding officer of the commission and has administrative oversight responsibility of the Johnson County government. He is also spokesperson for and a public advocate for our county. Mike was born and raised in the Kansas City, a Rockhurst High School, K-State, and KU Law School graduate. He practices law for Hush Blackwell. He and his wife are raising a son and a daughter in our community. Our second guest is Bo McCall. He is the World Cup Special Project Manager for Johnson County, Kansas, leading regional coordination, logistics, and legacy planning in preparation for the FIFA World Cup 26. In this role, he works across county departments, cities, regional partners, and KC 2026 to ensure Johnson County is ready to support this once-in-a-generation global event and maximize its long-term impact for the community. Bo brings a background in strategic planning and public service with experience across city, county, and federal government, including national emergency response with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services during the pandemic. He holds a Master of Public Administration from the University of Kansas. So if you have questions for either of these people during their presentation, you have cards at your table, at your chair. So please fill those out and just raise them up. Somebody will collect them, bring them up, and we'll get to just as many as we can during this presentation. Welcome, Bo and Mike, and turn it over to you.
Thank you. Well, Linda, thank you so much, and to the League, thank you so much for having me back. It is a pleasure to speak in front of you again. This is such an important organization that does the great work of protecting democracy in our community, but being fantastic ambassadors for our community and the importance of the civic work that we do together. So we're very happy to be here and talk with you about the biggest sporting event in the history of the world. And I don't say that hyperbolically. The numbers don't lie. So we're very excited to be here, and thank you so much. Bo?
Yes, thank you all so much for having us. It's a pleasure to be here to join the League this morning. Pleasure to share the stage with Chairman Kelly and Linda here. Having said that, I grew up in Johnson County, so I was born here. My family actually moved here because they wanted to be closer to Shawnee Mission Park, and that was why they picked the house they did in Lenexa. And so for me, even though I've been in this role for a little bit over a year now, it's still, it never leaves me the excitement when I get to do these types of presentations of just, we have the biggest event in the world coming to the Metro, coming to Johnson County in about 3 months, 123 days actually. And so what an amazing time to be a resident here. We're gonna be welcoming the world, welcoming countries from all over the world. What an incredible event to have and to be a part of. So thank you for having us today and the opportunity to talk about that.
We're going to take this relatively informally. We have a slide deck, but we want to have a great conversation with you here today. So as questions come in, we can take them. Bo and I will kind of go back and forth. because we've both been working on this for years now. And we are so lucky in Johnson County. I often say that the elected officials come and go, but it's the staff that really form the backbone of the quality of life and the great civic services that we provide here that are unique, not only to the metro region, but the nation. And to have somebody with Bo's background be able to innovate and really create a position to be our strategy guru, our guide through the various facets of how this tournament is going to impact life here in Johnson County, but also how we can take the most from this once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm so glad that we have the brain power and the work ethic within Johnson County government to be able to have somebody like Bo lead our efforts. So we're very excited. 123 days. I remember when this chart had a 6 in front of it. We start every meeting with a countdown. So we ground ourselves in the idea that this is coming and that we have tasks to complete. Now with 123, it is not only exciting, it brings a little bit of anxiety with it, but at the same time, we're proud to talk about the work that we've done, the proactive nature of our efforts to make sure that we take advantage of this opportunity, and we're able to celebrate together. So I'm very excited for what's to come. Bo? And
that leads us into, so how many soccer fans do we have here? Okay.
Pretty good number.
Pretty good number.
For the soccer capital of America, I would expect no less.
In a few months, you all will be raising your hand. I just want to say that. If you haven't been following the World Cup, or if you're not familiar with the World Cup, this is the biggest sporting event in the world. You could argue the Olympics as well. I'll let the Olympics and the World Cup duke that out. But this is one of the largest events in the world, coming to Kansas City. 3.5 billion fans, 200 million players, 200 countries. We're going to have 48 countries coming to North America in about 3 months. And so, again, this is soccer is a international game. If traveling abroad, wherever you go, you'll see soccer fields out there. You'll see kids out there playing. And so, when they call it the beautiful game, that's why. That's why you hear that terminology.
So when the United States, Mexico, and Canada came together to put forward a united bid to bring the world's biggest sporting event to our continent, it gave the opportunity for cities to pledge themselves to be a potential host for matches. And you think about the cities that have hosted World Cups in the past: Los Angeles, New York, Dallas, big cities with multiple millions of residents, with infrastructure that for some is hundreds of years old. We knew that we had a great competition in front of us. So instead of having just Kansas City, Missouri applied by itself, the region came together for a united bid, just like Canada and Mexico and the United States came together for a united bid to FIFA. We came together for a united bid, knowing that we are greater than just our individual assets, but the sum of our parts is greater. We came together for a united bid. The state of Missouri, the state of Kansas, Jackson County, Johnson County, Wyandotte County, to show not only the great community that we have here, but also to prove to ourselves that we can do big things. So we formed KC 2026, which is the organizing committee for this joint bid that went to FIFA and is in charge of putting on these 6 matches out at Kansas City Stadium. We're not allowed to call it Arrowhead during the matches, so it's Kansas City Stadium. And really with 3 big purposes, 3 missions that were driving us. First is to deliver the Kansas City magic. Anybody that lives here knows that there's something special here. Often we think of ourselves as a hidden gem in the world. Some people consider us flyover country, but anybody that has been here knows that there is something special here. And when people think of Kansas City and they've never been here, they have a very different perspective of what it is. But then they have an opportunity to come and visit here, and they have what I like to refer as the epiphany of the visit. They see the community, they see the amenities, and they realize, wow, I could see myself here. I want to visit Kansas City. I could raise a family here. I could bring my business here. They have that epiphany of the visit, and then the perception is changed forever, and they are fantastic ambassadors for this community. And we are proud of our community. We all have our favorite barbecue spot. We don our Royals, our Chiefs, our current, our sporting gear wherever we go across the world. We're very proud of Jason Sudeikis and Janelle Monáe. And we like to showcase our community. So we want to deliver that Kansas City magic to everybody that comes to our community. We also see this as a great opportunity to rise on the world stage. We are a community on the rise, whether it be welcoming the 3 biggest economic development projects in the history of the state of Kansas to Johnson County in the last 3 years, whether it's showcasing the Chiefs as Super Bowl champions 3 times in the past 5 years. We know that we're a community on the rise. We want to continue that rise on the world stage, and there's no bigger opportunity than the biggest sporting event in the history of the world with 48 teams instead of 32. This is the first tournament that'll have 48 nations instead of 32 nations. So it's a bigger tournament than there's ever been. We have an opportunity to continue that rise for our entire region on a global stage like never before. And then we want to leave a legacy. And the legacy is not just more soccer fields in our community, though I'm sure that there will be more soccer fields in our community. It's not just fantastic art pieces to remember the games, though there will be fantastic art pieces. No, it's about leaving a legacy of how we come together as a region to do big things. And if we can host this tournament, if we could welcome hundreds of thousands of visitors to our community, if we could base camp the world champions in our community, which we will be doing, then there is no opportunity too big, no challenge, no goal that is too broad for the region to come together and say, we can do that too. We want to leave the legacy of transportation. We want to leave a legacy of coordination across state lines and allow this to make a better community for ourselves and our kids and for generations to come.
And I'll just share, so this is the way the match is set up. So World Cup fan, or maybe if you're not as familiar with soccer, this may look a little bit like March Madness to you. Any March Madness fans or KU fans out there, hopefully. So those gray boxes on the far left, when you hear group stages, each group is composed of 4 teams, essentially. And those 4 teams are all going to play against each other in the group stage. That's the first couple weeks of the tournament. So they're all going to get at least 3 matches in that time. So when you hear us talk about the group stage matches, those first 4 matches in Kansas City are going to be the group stage matches. Then from there, the top 2 teams from each of the group stages, plus 8 third-place teams. So they're going to do it based off of a number of factors like goals against, goal differential. They'll pick 8 of the 12 group stages that will then go on to the next round, which are called the knockout rounds. And so in Kansas City, we have 2 knockout matches here. We're going to have a round of 32, which is essentially the round right after the group stage, and then we're going to have a quarterfinal, which is the top 8 teams in the world. That quarterfinal is going to be the biggest game we've ever had in the Kansas City region. I mean, that will be bigger than AFC Championship. That's going to be bigger than a World Series, at least as far as from the international stage and the international perspective. These will be the largest sporting event we've ever had. So thrilled to have that, and then you'll see it goes all the way down to the finals. The tournament's going to be between June 11th and July 19th. In Kansas City, our matches will be between June 16th and July 11th.
So let's talk about the games that we know are coming. On June 16th, that Thursday, our first match, we will host the world champions from Argentina, the current World Cup holders, in their first match of their title defense of the World Cup. They'll play against Algeria. We have teams from 4 different continents coming to Kansas City, and that's just what we know so far. We'll also see the Netherlands, a team who has won the World Cup and a perennial top 10 soccer nation. We'll see also fun teams that are making their World Cup debut. Curaçao is a nation that is smaller than the city of Overland Park. And they have qualified for their first World Cup. So you can imagine the pride of a nation that is, for the first time, experiencing the global stage, kind of like Kansas City. And they will play their World Cup debut here in Kansas City against a South American powerhouse in Ecuador. We'll also see Tunisia and the Dutch. Algeria will play a second match here against Austria. And then, as Bo mentioned, we'll see 2 knockout round matches. We've all done the tournament predictions and the hypotheticals. Everybody knows Lionel Messi, probably the most famous soccer player in the world. He'll be playing here. There's also a possibility if Portugal wins their group. Portugal, a team that has won the European Championships, that has been to World Cup semifinals, I believe. Their all-star, Cristiano Ronaldo, will play a knockout round here in Kansas City. And again, that quarterfinal will have billions of eyeballs across the world on July 11th watching Kansas City.
And for me, too, one of the reasons I love the World Cup and love the matches is you're rooting for your team, of course. You're rooting for, we'll be rooting for the U.S. men's national team, but all the stories that come out of this. And similar to like what's happening with the Olympics now, all those incredible stories. And one of the stories that I love that Chairman Kelly just referred to was Curaçao playing here in Kansas City. We are the smallest host city of all the host cities this tournament. And so I think that's just a really nice parody for the smallest country to ever make the World Cup coming to the smallest host city as well.
We're all punching above our weight. So, yes, we are excited about the teams that'll come to play here. But we're also excited to show that Johnson County and Kansas City hospitality to teams throughout the tournament. Each team will pick a base camp somewhere across the United States, and it doesn't have to be a city that's hosting matches. It is a city that will host a team and their coaching staff and their trainers and their chefs and their families as a home away from home during the tournament. And that's called a base camp. And Kansas City is what we refer to as base camp Mecca. We have a great opportunity to host multiple nations in their base camp. So they'll come in before the tournament. They will stay throughout the tournament. They'll leave to go play matches across the United States, Mexico, and Canada, but will come back here as their base, their home away from home, for the duration of the tournament. And Kansas City, we have been working incredibly hard over the past 2 years to showcase not only the facilities, showcase the community, the hotel amenities, the quality of life, and just the people that we have here. And the reception has been incredibly positive. So we can announce, and that has been publicly circulated, that the world champions from Argentina will base camp in Kansas City. Yes, absolutely. So the way that the teams picked base camps it goes by FIFA world ranking. So the #1 team in the world picks first, then #2, #3. So to have the #1 team in the world pick us just proves what we have to offer here. And so we're incredibly excited to welcome them to Compass Minerals Training Park to be their training home away from home. But there's a number of other facilities that we have in our region that can host some incredible teams.
And they're in this process, so these were all part of a brochure where teams were able to select over the past year and a half, come and visit these sites, and that process is still being finalized now. So that's what you hear. We have Argentina as has officially announced they will be here, and then there are a number of other teams that are looking that you'll probably, if you've been reading the press or the Star, they've been reporting on those teams. Some really exciting potential there. Some of the top teams in the world are looking to be here. Again, it's not official, it's not finalized yet, so we're hopefully over the next few weeks we'll see that announcement be made. But again, to the chairman's point, the fact that these teams are all considering Kansas City as a home away from home, as their place to stay for the duration of the tournament, just to me speaks to what our community has to offer and just how exciting of a time it is to be here in Kansas City.
And here we are. Argentina has officially announced yesterday, and for the past week, we've been hosting the Consular General from Argentina in our region. The embassy had a number of delegates come and see Kansas City. And last night we had a welcome reception for the Consular General, and they couldn't be more happy to be here. Kansas City truly showed up, and together we all said, "Vamos, Argentina." And we hope that before they take a trophy back to Buenos Aires, that they parade it through Kansas City as well.
It's also one of the biggest barbecue capitals of the world, coming to the biggest barbecue capital of the world. So
they had opinions, and so we'll have to have a friendly competition. So we realize that this is going to have a real, tangible impact in our community, not only economically, but culturally, and we are excited for that. We know that it'll be $650 million in direct economic impact to our communities, supporting tens of thousands of jobs and direct personal income generated from the businesses in our community. We know that our restaurants, we know that our hotels, we know that our shops will feel this impact. And that's one of the reasons that we do this. Tourism has a big impact in Johnson County. It's a sneaky big impact. Already in Johnson County, we see about $2 billion in tourism spend annually. If not for the impact of tourism in Johnson County, we would have each household pay an extra $800 in property taxes to offset the impact to our governments. And so we know that being intentional about growing our tourism profile can help offset the costs for our local governments, for our fire districts, for our schools, in a way that can help us mitigate the impact of property taxes. So we want to take advantage of that. And we can be accommodating hosts to folks from not only around the country, but around the world. And it's been interesting to learn about how FIFA sees the folks who are going to come to our community. We are pleased to learn that most folks will come internationally. They'll go through MCI. We'll have direct flights to international destinations at MCI, which is great. We hope that's a legacy that will go beyond the tournament. We know that most folks will stay in the community. They're not coming here just for match day. The average visitor will come for nearly 10 days to the community. So they will want an opportunity to see and to taste and to feel what Kansas City really is. And we want to showcase that.
And when we look at the forecast of who will be visiting, so this was put together about a year and a half ago, a couple years ago, when they first started looking at what the matches might be around the country. So they did this for the entire country. We were looking at around 650,000 potentially forecasted coming to the Kansas City metro, not just Johnson County, but the entire metro area. That number, there's a good chance that we could see that go up over the coming months, especially with the caliber of teams we have, with the base camps. Argentina alone, we can anticipate tens of thousands of fans traveling with that team. It's one of the best traveling fan bases in the world. And so, again, we're going to be welcoming a lot of different cultures, a lot of different visitors here. When I see this slide here, this gives you a profile of what we would expect of the visitors. Something that really stuck out to me was that 9.7 days of length of stay, which I don't know how you do the 0.7 days, but we'll just assume 10 days length of stay. So that's a longer vacation than usually normally would take. So people are coming, they're coming to support their teams. They have that national pride as a part of it, and they're coming to visit these areas and these cities for 10 days, almost 2 weeks to be here. So in that time, there's going to be matches happening. There'll be some group stage matches. Maybe they're here for a knockout round. They'll probably be attending Fan Fest, but then that's going to leave a lot of other time to get out and explore the region. And so when we look at some of the services and some of the different accommodations that we're looking to set up for visitors, it really goes to that, how do we leverage people getting that Kansas City magic, that Kansas City experience while they're here. So if you're staying at Lee Summit, you get a chance to come out to Johnson County and check it out. If you're in Johnson County, you want to go downtown, you want to go to Union Station and check that out. How can we make that easier and more accessible for you while you're visiting? As well as for our community here, too, who is curious. They want to go out and they want to see all these different community activations, which we'll talk a little bit more. There's so many exciting community activations happening outside of those matches.
The biggest thing that we have done as KC 2026, the host regional committee, other than modifications to the stadium, getting the airport ready, safety and security, transportation, the party that's being planned for Fan Fest is unique amongst the world. And if you've watched the World Cup before, you have seen Fan Fest, whether it be on the beaches in Rio or whether it be in Doha. The Fan Fest is what you will see on international broadcasts, but it's really an opportunity for folks, not only in our region, but for our visitors to come together and celebrate the beautiful game. The Fan Fest that we will officially have for KC 2026 will be at the Liberty Memorial on the south side of the Liberty Memorial, so not quite like the draft, which was on the north side. This will be on the south side with multiple stages, multiple fan areas, and some exciting announcements to come about how that Fan Fest will feature local food and beverage, how it will showcase our history of sport here in the metro region, how it will have opportunities to interact with different countries that are coming through. Populous, which is a design professional firm that has designed not only stadiums here but abroad. Multiple stadiums that will be hosting the World Cup were designed by Populous. Others were designed by other design firms in Kansas City. We have an incredible architecture, engineering, and construction community here in our region. 11 of the 16 stadiums that'll host these World Cup matches were designed in Kansas City. And so to have Populous, who has been one of the leaders in sports design, help us through designing Fan Fest is going to be incredibly exciting. So soon to be announced will be the dates that Fan Fest will be available. I will tell you that not every day between June 16th and July 11th will Fan Fest be open. That's intentional. That is intentional to allow folks to go out to other activations throughout our region. We want the impact to be felt regionally, not just in the center of downtown. Yes, we want great impact downtown, but we want the entire region to be able to thrive and to showcase their communities. But we're incredibly excited for Fan Fest. There'll be more renderings and more announcements about Fan Fest in the coming weeks.
And that leads us to one of the more exciting services that's been announced throughout this process. This is, and when we talk about this, because we're going to talk about some Johnson County transit services as well coming up, this is a service that's going to be offered by KC 2026, the nonprofit that is helping, that is essentially engaging with FIFA as far as delivering these games. So with the KC 2026, you'll see this map, and eventually you'll see our Johnson County stops, additional stops that are part of this map. there are the goal for this service, and they're calling it the Connect KC 26, was essentially to take advantage of that visitor stay of 10 days to make sure they're able to get out and see the region, that sports tourism aspect, that visitor experience. And so they'll be offering 3 services. You'll see the Airport Direct. That's separate from the airport service we'll offer, which again, we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But that's going to go from MCI to, I believe the drop-off will be around Union Station area for a hub there. The Region Direct is something we're really excited about. So this is 15 stops around the metro. We have 4 Region Direct stops here in Johnson County. Overland Park Convention Center, Oak Park Mall, Lenexa City Center, and the Mission Transit Center will be our 4 stops for the Region Direct. And what the Region Direct service is doing is essentially going to be a direct connection from those stops to FanFest. And then you can take those from FanFest, you can go to anywhere else in the city that the Region Direct stops. That's going to run for approximately 33 days between that June 11th and July 13th, just right after the quarterfinal here, that entire time. So whether FanFest is open or not, the Region Direct service will be running. This will be a ticketed service, and so more details will be coming out about that. But essentially, that will be, again, taking from those stops directly to FanFest. And something that's really exciting about this, too, the KC 2026 has been a big advocate for is, like right now, if you were to take transit from Lenexa City Center to downtown, we'd be looking at approximately like an hour to hour 15 minutes of travel time. All of these Region Direct stops have been aiming to cut down times in half, essentially. So we're looking at now around 45 minutes or 40 minutes from Lenexa City Center to Liberty Memorial. So really excited to see that. We also have the Stadium Direct service. That's going to be a match day service. That's just for match days. That's running from Oak Park Mall to the stadium. So directly to the stadium. Have to have a ticket to be on the Stadium Direct. But essentially, that's going to be moving people from all around the metro to those matches.
So we'll get to the Johnson County Transit in just a little bit, which we're incredibly excited about. But we also wanted to make sure that businesses within our community knew how they could best prepare and how they could take advantage of this unique opportunity. So we created the game plan, the 2026 playbook, the community activation playbook that showcased opportunities for our local businesses, for our communities, to not only be a vendor for KC 2026, but how they can best prepare for the impacts of additional visitors. Hundreds of Kansas City businesses have registered through the RFP process to be vendors, whether it be at FanFest or at the airport, to take advantage of that. And we're excited to be able to showcase local businesses through this process in connection with the global sponsors for FIFA. And you can go to the Kansas City 2026 website if you have or know of a local business that wants to best prepare for taking advantage of the tournament. But we're proud that we were intentional from the very beginning as KC 2026 to make sure that we provided those resources to our local shops.
And just to show some examples from the game plan, there's also a community playbook. So just any organizations, maybe you're putting on a public viewing event, maybe you're just looking to learn a little bit about the tournament, how you can be involved. Community playbook is also a great resource. We'll share these links out. These are all on KC 2026's webpage under the community, but it just shows you some of the the soccer terminology and the do's and don'ts of using the different FIFA branding, the different resources that are available now. So just to show you some examples of what are in those documents.
There's also an opportunity through FIFA. We will have an app that will allow folks to digitally plan for their journey. More to come on that app in the near future, but hopefully that gives an opportunity for folks to best plan for their stay in the region, but also highlight community activation throughout the region. So I understand that we can talk about this for a long time. This is exciting. With all the things going on in the world right now, it's fun to talk about something exciting. So we're going to speed this up a little bit because we do want to get to your questions, but we do want to showcase what Johnson County is doing specifically for our community to take advantage of the World Cup. And we've highlighted this as one of our focus areas for the Board of County Commissioners over the past 2 years. Obviously, we focus on housing, health and safety, maintaining the fiscal health of our community, how we communicate and engage with our residents. But we wanted to highlight the World Cup as a focus area for Johnson County. And some of that focus will be to partner with KC 2026. Part of it is to make sure that we maintain a fundamental feeling of safety within Johnson County. That's incredibly important to all of us. And so as we welcome guests, we want to maintain that fundamental feeling of safety here. We want to understand the impacts for EMS and MedAct and make sure that we are prepared for that. We also want to make sure that we are able to move people throughout our community in a unique way that builds upon our strategic transit plan for our community, but also maximize the economic impact for the businesses within Johnson County.
And I'll just add to me, this slide is impressive because it really starts to represent all the teamwork that's happening, not just in the county, but across the entire community. And when we talk about legacies potentially coming out of this event, just that collaboration, whether you're on the Missouri side of the state line, the Kansas state side of the state line, all the coordination and collaboration that's happening and partnerships, it truly is incredible. And for me, in the project manager roles, it's really incredible to see all the professionalism, all the work, all the effort and leadership that's happening around the region.
So one of the first things we did was realize that we want to get people here to Johnson County. If they're staying in Johnson County, we want to make it convenient. And we were proactive. KC 2026 in the Kansas City region has been the leader in preparing for the World Cup of the 16 host cities. And I don't say that hyperbolically, we've heard that directly from FIFA. In Johnson County, we've been a leader in the region. We were the first organization of the 16 host cities to secure buses for the World Cup. And so we've got the best buses at the best rate. They are fantastic. The Wi-Fi enabled, leather seats, AC, the works. But if we were to try to secure those now, they would be 3 times the cost. So we were first in line and proactive, and we're proud of that. One of the things we recognize when we heard from different teams that come to play tournaments from an amateur perspective in Johnson County was getting from the airport to Johnson County for our whole team was a challenge. So we stood up an opportunity to go directly from the airport to Johnson County. This will be a service that goes throughout the tournament, both before the tournament and after the tournament, on 20-minute headways from the arrivals terminal at MCI to the Overland Park Convention Center and to Lenexa City Center. And then there's an opportunity for folks who live in our community to go from the Overland Park Convention Center or the Lenexa City Center directly to the departures terminal at the airport. And this is a game changer. This is something that we want to see. It's a great opportunity for folks that maybe haven't utilized public transit in a long time or ever to utilize public transit to go to a place that they want to go. And then hopefully realize that public transit is safe, public transit is reliable, public transit is a mode of choice for me within our community. So we stood up the Johnson County Drop and Rides, and we're proud of those.
And those will run for beyond the World Cup as well. So we're looking at beginning that service around May, beta testing it before that time, and that will run into the fall, October, November. So a little bit longer than the World Cup timeframe.
So if you do have a plan for a vacation, if you're visiting family or friends or a beach in the next few months between May and November, take an opportunity for a free ride to the airport from Overland Park Convention Center or the Lenexa City Center. See how it works. Let us know. And then, if you like it, advocate for it to be a permanent part of our community assets. And then we know people need to get around to see Johnson County. Mission is different from Olathe, is different from Leawood, is different from Overland Park. We all have something special to share. And so we stood up on top of the transit service that we already operate in Johnson County, what we're calling the Johnson County United Link. These are 3 circular routes that will go to areas of key interest throughout Johnson County, again, on those 20-minute headways, so reliable, robust service levels throughout our region, all circulating around Oak Park Mall, which again connects to that KC 2026 park and ride that goes both directly to FanFest and directly to the stadium on match days. Bo, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. As far as the link to, there will be more exciting announcements coming up with this service pretty soon, but that will be running approximately 35 to 42 days during that tournament.
And if you like it, advocate for it.
So really excited. We have some amazing community activations coming up around the Metro and especially here in Johnson County. So the Johnson County Parks and Rec will be hosting a soccer celebration this summer. They're still finalizing what those dates will be, but approximately we're looking at like 15 to 20 potential celebration events out there, which essentially they'll have a watch party where they'll have the matches playing, be a chance to come out there, be with the community. Those are free events. We're going to have local vendors out there, food trucks. They're set up for accessibility as well, family friendly. So thrilled to be announcing the Theater in the Park soccer celebrations and more to come as we get closer. But we're looking at around 2,500 capacity for those events.
And you'll watch a good match there because we made investments into audio-visual improvements. So a new giant screen that will cover the stage at Theater in the Park, as well as AV improvements that will be a legacy that I'm excited about. If people have been to the Kauffman Center and seen the symphony matched with a movie, we now have the capability to do that at Theater in the Park. So over time, making that family friendly and financially accessible to everyone in our community, to highlight the symphonies that we have here, or to otherwise come and gather as a community. That'll be a fun legacy that goes beyond just showing matches during the World Cup.
A few more initiatives that Johnson County Parks and Rec will be hosting. So they'll be hosting a Unity Cup, and this is a new tournament. It's going to be composed of 16 teams, 7 versus 7, but essentially to celebrate all the different cultures that are coming to the Metro, coming to our city, in our county. That will be held out at Heritage Park, so more to come on that as well. Excited for that initiative. With the Everyday Democracy, this will be opening up in February. This is essentially going to be at the Johnson County Museum over at Arts and Heritage, just celebrating civic pride and civic participation in America, celebrating that 250th anniversary, which, by the way, we have the 250th anniversary coming up on July 4th, right in the middle of this tournament.
In the middle of the World Cup.
Yeah.
2 quick points to that. I got a preview of the Everyday Democracy exhibit on Thursday night. The league will love this exhibit. The museum puts together world-class exhibits. If anyone saw the Red Line exhibit, that won a national award for museum sciences. This one is just as cool. And having a conversation about democracy right now is something that is healthy for our community. So there is some very, there were some very great conversations on Thursday night, and hopefully more that are sparked from this exhibit. So if you get the opportunity, please go and visit that exhibit. There's also a combination of the Johnson County Arts Commission. They had artists create pieces for 2076. What will our community, what will our democracy look like in the next 50 years? So very powerful pieces. The Unity Cup is also something that I think we should all be very proud of. Yes, there'll be 16 teams, 7-on-7, but the way that the Johnson County Parks and Rec are organizing those teams is they're welcoming folks who live here in Kansas City, but have a connection to their nation of origin. So you'll have folks come together that live in Johnson County but are from Argentina or Brazil or the Netherlands or England, representing their home country, their heritage, but also that connection to Johnson County. So I think that's something very cool, and I'm proud of JCPRD for putting that together.
And another initiative is going to be this soccer-themed, the Garden Spheres. Those are going to be commissioned by local artists as well, but we'll see those going out pretty soon over at Antioch Park. So make sure to stop by and check that out. And then one more initiative the JCPRD has going on is these flags in the park. These are going to be made out of recycled hot air balloon material. And they're working with local artists to create those designs. We're going to have 30 of those flags at Shawnee Mission Park and then 10 at Meadowbrook. So again, just one more way that we're leaning into all the different cultures and celebrating their coming to our community. And actually I just saw this for the first time yesterday, so you're the first audience that's seen this publicly. JCPRD has set up a text notification, so if you're interested in those Theater in the Park watch parties, if you text 888-777 and just text JC Watch Party, you'll get notifications, text notifications of announcements that are coming up and what's happening around those. And again, we'll share this out at the very end, so you'll have this.
All right.
Okay,
Some questions?
Are you ready for
Yeah.
questions? I've got a couple of really simple questions, then we got the hard questions.
Okay.
We'll start simple. What is the date of the quarterfinal?
So that's going to be Saturday, July 11th. And that's going to be an evening game as well. I think it was 8:30. I have to go back and double check that. But yeah.
So most of the matches in Kansas City are evening games. Based on the June and July temperatures in Kansas City for player safety, most of our matches are in the evening.
And I think this one's been answered, but can you talk about transportation around Johnson County? I think we've really answered that. Here's one you're going to like.
Okay.
Is England's team using the hotel at Meadowbrook?
So we are not here to break any news today. At the same time, we all have computers in our pockets that can look at reports from the Daily Mail or the Telegraph about the possibility that the biggest brand in world sport is looking to potentially base camp within our region. And why wouldn't they? We have amazing facilities, we have great hotels, we have incredible people, we're centrally located. And so for a team like England that's playing matches on the East Coast and in Dallas, they might want to be in a place where they're not having a 6-hour flight back to back. They might want to be in a place that is a 3-hour flight from anywhere in the continent. So we're incredibly proud that many teams, some of those that were in Pot 1, which is the top 9 teams in the world, have been through and are considering Kansas City and the surrounding region to host a base camp. So not here to break any news, but we're excited about the buzz that's out there. And hopefully in the next few weeks, we're able to make some more announcements.
Okay. How are you preparing for food vendors to resupply their stock?
So as part of that Connected KC plan and resource guide, there are suggestions for various community businesses, including restaurants, about how to prepare for inventory. And working with the Small Business Incubator at UMKC, there's some great opportunities for local businesses, including restaurants, to take advantage of opportunities to be ready for the rapid increase in inventory that they may need. And hopefully some more good things to come from local CDFIs and local departments of commerce about how those small businesses can handle that influx in a unique way, because it's not in their normal business plan. But from the lessons we've learned by hosting the draft in our community, we're taking and applying those lessons to the plan that's been put forward and is available on the KC 2026 website, and more to come there, working directly with the restaurant associations as well as local businesses to prepare.
Okay, these two are going to get a little heavier. How is
You ready?
Johnson County working with other local, regional, state, and national agencies to address the horrific sex trafficking that accompanies these sporting events?
Well, safety and security has been the first order of business and the top order of business since the day that we applied for the bid. And one of the legacies that I'm proud that we've left from this tournament is an organization or a combination, a working group of 17 different agencies, all the way from the federal level to local police departments, preparing together for the World Cup. And yes, that means dealing with the potential terrorist threats. Yes, that means dealing with pedestrian safety and everything in between. And from that legacy, we hope that this muscle memory gives us the opportunity to host other big things and to be ready to coordinate beyond county lines or city lines or state lines to make sure that everybody in our community and our guests are safe and secure. Again, the #1 priority, and that working group that I appreciate the Mid-America Regional Council has been the host of, is something that we want to continue in perpetuity for our community. So in terms of leaving a legacy, that's a big one that's already been established. And so I'm proud that we're using all resources to be intentional about safety and security. And the amount of money that has come in from the state of Missouri, from the state of Kansas, from the federal government has been robust, specifically around safety and security.
And I'll just add that to that, as far as that coordination between the federal, state, local governments, that's happening every day. It's been happening for the past couple years as we plan for this. Again, all the way up to a White House task force that oversees some of those safety and security when we talk about trafficking, to FIFA with their human rights framework, to what's happening on the ground here. KCPD has been leading a local group of safety and security partners and stakeholders. Last count, I think we're over 300 people that are part of that group, over 50 agencies from the state, federal, local. They're all communicating and collaborating. There's a number of different task forces. So just to foot stomp the chairman's point, this is one of the top priority for these games to be successful is safety and security, and making sure there's talking, there's communications, there's plans all happening behind the scenes.
What about specifically political demonstrations or leading to violence or that kind of thing? What specifically about that has been worked on?
So it is something that has gone through the safety and security working groups, is how people have an opportunity to exercise their First Amendment rights in this country. That's important to all of us, and people should be able to advocate and demonstrate peacefully within our community. So demonstration zones and particular areas for First Amendment exercise of rights are part of the contemplation within the tournament. And so we want to make sure that those rights are protected and people have an opportunity to advocate before, during, and after the tournament. And so...
What does that mean? Does that mean there'll be specific regions or areas or times, or what does that mean in terms of practicalities?
Well, keep watching the KC 2026 website. They will have information about where any activations would be available. Well, and specifically designated. And that doesn't preclude people from exercising their First Amendment rights in a lawful way somewhere else. But to have specific free speech zones that will be protected and designated for that purpose is something that you could watch the KC 2026 website for as we get closer to the tournament.
And then I want to go back to that question about the sex trafficking, because while you were talking in more general terms, this person was asking specifically about that, and I think it may apply differently to something like the World Cup, to a big sporting event that might. So is the planning specifically directed to that?
Yeah, through the human rights organization of FIFA, there's been specific conversations and plans put in place for safety, specifically around sex trafficking, yes.
There's targeted communications that are going out to like hotels, transit stops, the short-term rentals as well, because we know that having a mega event like this, we do see an increase in that, unfortunately. And so yes, lots of targeted communications efforts around the different community stakeholders that could potentially identify that and also help make sure that law enforcement's aware of it.
And then, just as a last question, since I would say most or all of this audience is not going to have tickets to a World Cup game, most likely, what would you recommend that people try to attend? You've listed a lot of things, you've got an audience here. What are you recommending that they go to, that they try to plan for?
Do you want to go
Yep,
first?
sure.
I'll follow up.
There is so much that's going to be happening in between June and July in the Metro and Johnson County. Whether you're a soccer fan or not, this is an amazing time to get together with family, friends, community. Again, growing up here, when the Royals went to the World Series in 2014, I love this experience. They went to the World Series. They didn't win that year, but it was kind of like this milestone for KC as far as this pride and identity, as far as being proud to be a Kansas City resident, seeing the different shots of Kansas City and the surrounding areas on TV, and just that experience with your family and friends. So there's going to be all types of community activations happening. And when we say activations, those might be watch parties. Olathe is going to have a Fourth Friday. Lenexa is going to have a Pitch Lenexa event down at Lenexa City Center where you can go and watch the matches there. Leewood's going to have theirs as well. Johnson County Theater in the Park is an amazing opportunity to come out. That's going to be a free event to come out, watch some matches, be around soccer, be in the community. So I would say look for those types of activations. There's going to be all types of communications about that. We're going to be promoting that. We have a webpage, Johnson County United, where all the different activations and soccer experiences happening around Johnson County will be happening. And again, maybe if you're not interested in watching the matches, maybe if I haven't convinced you to go out and watch a soccer match at this point, there's still going to be all the activities happening in the park, the library. Just found out about some of the activities happening there. The Baby World Cup. I don't have a lot of details on that. That sounds awesome.
Very curious.
Yeah,
now.
right. Yeah. And so just, again, a way to celebrate all the cultures. There's going to be all types of pop-up cultural events happening, celebrating all the international visitors and food and ethnicities coming. And so, again, just incredible ways and in a, living here once-in-a-lifetime way to participate and be a part of this celebration.
So to build off of that, there's no wrong way to enjoy the World Cup here in our community. You can follow the KC 2026 website, and JohnsonCountyUnited.com will have updates on all of the activations and celebrations specifically within Johnson County. Here's what I would do. Go see FanFest if you get the opportunity. It'll be a ticketed event. It'll be free, but you have to get a ticket, and we're capping that at $25,000 per day. But go see FanFest. It'll be incredible. Populous is doing a great job with that. Go watch a match at Theater in the Park. Come out, sit on the lawn, be with friends, enjoy the good weather, and watch a match. Maybe England versus Croatia on June 15th would be a good way to start. That'll be England's first match and a rematch of the semifinals of the World Cup from 2014? 2018? Yeah. 2018. Yeah, 2018. And then Clock Tower Landing, downtown Overland Park. The new farmers market, that'll be done. They are doing a huge activation down at what is now Clock Tower Landing in Overland Park. Go watch a match out there. But again, no wrong way to experience this. Follow JohnsonCountyUnited.com and see the various activations throughout the community.
Well, thank you to Mike and Bo. This has been so exciting.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you all.
much.
Thank you.
Linda, thank you so much.
Thanks, Linda.